From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner Colin McMahon transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for July 2024. Summer is here, both by the calendar and by comics. Free Comic Book Day in May, they always tease their big summer events, and this month all the new books that were being teased in May are finally coming out. The publishers' big events are in full force, and we got a lot going on at the store. So I want to get to that first off. We bought a huge collection back in May. It was stored in a barn, so we're calling it the Barn Collection. And we finally got it all bagged and priced and sorted and all ready to go out. And it's going to be going out on display on Saturday, July 6th. Now it's 45, 50 long boxes of books, so we're going to have to rearrange stuff, but we want to get it all out in one big presentation for you. All the books in the wall, all the books in the cases are all going to be brand spanking new. So if you get a chance, come out, take a look, see what's here. It's a bunch of neat stuff. It's not so much like big keys, like, you know, first appearance of Captain America and stuff like that, but it's a ton of stuff. A lot of neat books from the 50s and 60s and like Dells and Gold Keys, a lot of Archies, really old Archies, really neat Archies. And then a ton of stuff from, you know, from then on up all the way to there was stuff from the 2000s in there. So lots of neat stuff, lots of things to check out. So come on by, like I said, Saturday, July 6th is when we're going to be unveiling it. So that's going to be the best chance to get the things you're looking for. As far as here in the store, we're doing, our focus on this month is going to be on Mark Waid, all of Mark Waid's graphic novels. We're going to be doing double points. Mark Waid is doing DC's big event, Absolute Power, and so I figured we'd focus on him. And then for book club on Friday, July 26th, we're going to be doing All-Star Superman, one of those really great books. This is by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely. Just a great story. They just came out with it, coming out this first week in July, actually, is going to be the Compact Comics edition, which is a nice little $10 version of it, shrunk down, but the whole thing's there. So I figured that's a good way to get this out and get people to read it. So that's what's going on here at the store. It is a huge month for brand new comics. It's a 5 Wednesday month, so they even get an extra week to get more stuff out. So let's get started on it. Let's start with Marvel Comics. The biggest thing Marvel has going on is they're relaunching the X-Men line. They wrapped up the Krakoan age of X-Men, and now they're starting all new, with all new teams, all new creative teams. Lots of people who have never written the X-Men as a team before are coming on. And the first one coming out, of course, is X-Men #1. This is Jed MacKay and Ryan Stegman are doing this one. Krakoa is gone, Orcus has fallen, but the X-Men remain always. Cyclops leads because that is what he does. Beast builds because that is what he does. And from their new home in Alaska, the X-Men raise a flag of defiance. Mutant business is their business. Join Cyclops, Beast, Magneto, Psylocke, Kid Omega, Temper, Magic, and Juggernaut as new forces in the world move into position, battling for the destiny and philosophy of the mutant species. We also have a new X-Force #1. The world is fractured. Forge uses all his powers of invention to devise the only fix, an all-new, all-different X-Force. Forge leads a custom-made, hand-picked team of mutants. Rachel Summers, Betsy Braddock, Sage, Surge, and introducing Tank. In off-the-books missions so dire, so integral for the fate of the Marvel Universe, there's no time to stop for permission. We also have NYX #1. This isn't a book about X-Men. This is a book about mutants living past the end of their world and into a new beginning. This is the mutant community. This is mutant pride. This is NYX. We have Phoenix #1. She is Jean Grey. She is Phoenix. She saves the world. She brings death. One woman, alone in space, who not only must do what no one else can, she yearns to. We also have Aliens vs. Avengers. This is by Jonathan Hickman and Esad Ribic. It's all led to this. Xenomorphs reach Earth. The perfect organism meets a planet of superhumans. Who will be the first to fall? We also have some facsimile editions because there's a movie with Deadpool and Wolverine in it. So we're getting Wolverine 88, which is the first Deadpool-Wolverine meeting, and a reprint of Deadpool #1. There's also a weapon extraction backup story featuring Wolverine and Deadpool that's going to be running through a bunch of issues. It's going through Incredible Hulk 14, Captain America 11, Fantastic Four 22, Spider-Gwen 3, Immortal Thor 13, Avengers 17, Spectacular Spider-Man 6, and X-Force 2. We also have Wolverine Deep Cut #1. This is written by Chris Claremont, filling in a gap in a story he wrote years ago. At last, Logan's secret adventure revealed. Featuring a sinister revelation and claw-to-claw confrontations with Sabretooth, this is a must-have Wolverine story for new and long-standing fans alike that simply cannot be missed. We also have Life of Wolverine. This is Logan's life story in chronological order for the very first time. We also have Marvel and Disney, What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine? The description makes no sense, so I'm not going to try to read it, but Donald Duck becomes Wolverine. We also have Blood Hunt 5, wrapping up Blood Hunt. Doctor Strange is presented with a dread bargain to gain a chance to save the world. The Avengers ride into a battle they cannot win. The dead battle the undead across the globe. Will it be enough? Will the world be saved? And how will it change if it is? Featuring a dramatic shift for the future of the Marvel Universe. We also have some more one-shots before the end. We have Werewolf by Night, Blood Hunt #1. As the Blood Hunt wreaks havoc across the Marvel Universe, one of those affected in most unexpected ways is the Werewolf by Night. Imbued with new abilities, a new look, and dangerous new direction, this Werewolf by Night is unlike any you have ever seen or known before. We also have Hulk Blood Hunt. Hulk and Banner's quest to save Charlie Soule leads them through the Old West to the town of Old Tucson, population of 1. But the last man in town has a heck of a story to tell. Before the night ends, Hulk and Banner will learn that there's a lot more than meets the eye in Old Tucson. We have X-Men Blood Hunt Psylocke #1. After serving in the front lines of the war against Orcus, Kwannon is enjoying some much-deserved downtime with her new lover, Greycrow. But when darkness falls across Japan, Psylocke will wield her psionic blade against blood-sucking creatures of legend and faces a foe unlike she's ever seen. We also have X-Men Blood Hunt Laura Kinney, the Wolverine. The vampires will stop at nothing in their bid for supremacy, including capturing mutants for hellacious experiments to boost their own power. But not on Laura Kinney's watch. The Wolverine slices a swath through the vamps, but when she encounters the truth behind their machinations, will an unlikely ally prove to be more than she bargained for? Then we get into Black Widow Venomous. Natasha Romanoff, the infamous spy known as the Black Widow, didn't go looking to bond with an alien symbiote. But a good spy works with all of the tricks available to her, and when one of the most powerful and versatile weapons in the universe lands in your lap, you take it. Now she just needs to figure out how to work with a weapon with its own drives and desires, redefining Widow's relationship with her symbiote and setting the stage for her appearance in Venom War. We also have a new Namor series. This is written by Jason Aaron. War rages beneath the waves, from the lost cities of the secret seas to the fathomless depths where the elder whales reign. 7 kings, old and new, fight to rule the watery realm. But where is Namor, the once mighty submariner? He's sitting behind bars on the surface with no intention of ever setting foot in the seas again. So begins an oversized Atlantean event that will forever reshape the landscape of the undersea world, while at last laying bare the dark history of Atlantis and its fiercest, most infamous defender. We also have Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. After the stunning events of Daredevil 11, Daredevil's allies are left more vulnerable than ever before. If they're able to survive, it will fall to Elektra and Matt Murdock to not only save their city as Daredevil, but also protect the people they love the most. Now, next up, we're revisiting a story that took place years ago, and it's a sequel to it. It's Spider-Man Reign, and this is Volume 2 by Carrie Andrews. Award-winning writer-artist Carrie Andrews returns to the world of Spider-Man's dystopian future in this sequel to the landmark genre-defying Spider-Man Reign. Venom 35 kicks off Venom War. Following Carnage's battle with Venom and his assault on the Garden of Time, Eddie Brock, all the Eddie Brocks, are in freefall. Literally, the future of the entire Earth and all of time is now at stake. A couple more facsimiles. We have Amazing Spider-Man 258 and Secret Wars 7. We also have Giant Size Silver Surfer continuing the Giant Size run here. Terrax the Tamer is determined to escape the Silver Surfer's shadows for once and for all, and to do so he has created a deadly trap that the Surfer cannot escape. But in the midst of Terex's brutal campaign to destroy the Surfer's reputation, can the Surfer maybe find a way to save Terex himself? We also have Annihilation 2099, a weekly series in July. Who is the Last Nova? A remote town on the remote world is devastated by the ravenous, unforgiving Nullset, a gang of raiders and thieves obsessed with offing all life up to the darkness. But that all changes when a stranger from the stars who answers to his own code. The last survivor of Xandar, the Last Nova. Who is the Last Nova, and what great tragedy does he carry on his back? Is he the inheritor of the Nova Corps, or his destroyer? Then Infinity Watch is coming. That's another big event running through annuals. Started in June in the Thanos one-shot. Now we have Amazing Spider-Man annual. The Time Stone, aka Overtime, takes on Spider-Man Time Traveler versus Spider-Sense. Continues into Immortal Thor annual #1 and Ms. Marvel annual #1. We also have a new Star Wars books, Inquisitors. Weapons of the Emperor sent out into the galaxy to track down and kill any Jedi who survived Order 66. The ruthless Inquisitors are among the most skilled and deadly threats to those who serve the light side of the Force. We also have a Star Wars Ahsoka series, which is adapting the Disney Plus series. Now on to DC Comics. For DC, Absolute Power is here. Their big summer event is beginning. Kicks off in Absolute Power Ground Zero. As the DC Universe braces for the Absolute Power Blitzkrieg, the key to capturing metahuman powers on planet Earth will at last be unlocked. This special oversized Ground Zero issue brings Waller's total dominance to the doorsteps of the world's finest heroes, using the combined might of Failsafe, Brainiac Queen, and the Suicide Squad to do it. And we also have Absolute Power #1 by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. DC's epic summer event kicks off with a bang as the combined might of Failsafe and the Brainiac Queen has at last given Amanda Waller the ability to steal the metahuman abilities of every hero and villain on the planet. As chaos erupts in the streets and a massive misinformation campaign sways public opinion to her side, the founder of the Suicide Squad methodically targets each superhero dynasty one at a time, starting with Superman. But even in his darkest hours, a resistance is forming, and Batman is out for vengeance. It's a shocking blitzkrieg across the globe that is decades in the making and will shape the course of the DC Universe for years to come. We also have Absolute Power Task Force 7. This is a series spotlighting the bad guys. We have, with the assault on Metropolis's heroes complete, Amanda Waller's latest living weapon, the Last Son, sets his sights on the other most powerful supers in the DCU, the Marvel family. #2 gives us Atlantis now has a new ruler. Long live Depth Charge, Waller's Amazo robot. We also at #3 gives us, after capturing and absorbing the powers from the JSA, Jadestone is compromised by Green Lantern Alan Scott's willpower. Suddenly faced with the concept of free will, does Jadestone continue to execute Waller's orders or have a change of heart? We also have Absolute Power Origins. Discover the untold story of what led Amanda Waller to form the Trinity of Evil and take down Earth's superheroes. Absolute Power also ties into Superman 16, Wonder Woman 11, and Batman 150 in July. Returning, we have Nice House by the Sea. This is the continuation of Nice House by the Lake. So that's coming from James Tynion. We also have from the DC Vault, Death in the Family, Robin Lives #1. Now, for the first time, we want to find out what would have happened if fans had voted to let him live, and it begins with the murder of the Joker. We also have Dark Knights of Steel All Winter, an Elseworlds book continuing the Dark Knights of Steel storyline. A couple other Absolute Power tie-ins are Green Lantern 13 and Green Arrow 14. And we have some facsimile editions. We have Tales of the Teen Titans #44, which is the first Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. We also have Justice League of America #1 and Crisis on Infinite Earths #4. Now on to IDW because they have something special. IDW has one of the biggest books of the summer. It's the brand new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. Jason Aaron, famous at Marvel for all sorts of stuff, is coming over to write a new Turtles book. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have left New York to pursue their own interests, but there are forces gathering that will pull them back together, whether the bad guys like it or not. We also have, there's a 40th anniversary comic celebration. The Hunger in the Dusk is back for Volume 2, And we have a new Rocketeer book. Everybody loves the Rocketeer, so they're continuing on his story. And IDW is also putting out a new Monster High book based on the cartoon called New Scare Mester. Now on to Image Comics. Image has a whole bunch of new stuff coming out this July. First off, we have All the Things We Didn't Do Last Night. Criminals to Lovers. Author Maria Lovett returns with this sexy one-shot compilation of her 3-part story previously published in the Image 30th Anniversary Anthology. We have a new Witchblade series coming. Sarah Bazzini is back in an all-new origin story. A reimagining of the classic storyline, this high-octane supernatural thriller starts at the beginning with familiar characters and new story arcs. We also have The Domain. This is Chip Zdarsky and Rachel Stott. When 3 best friends discover a crashed UFO, they also discover technology that gives them incredible abilities. This is the story from the pages of Public Domain, the Eisner-winning story that Chip Zdarsky wrote, and it's also coming back with issue 6 this July. We have a new one, Free Agents. This is Kurt Busiek, Fabian Nicieza, and Stephen Mooney introduce a team of young veterans, survivors of a massive intergalactic war. They fought every day of their existence and won a terrible victory. Now they're stranded on Earth, free agents for the first time. We also have Spawn kills every Spawn. What happens when you find out you're not the only Hellspawn? What if you also find out you're not the coolest Hellspawn? Easy. You kill them all. Now on to Dark Horse. New from Dark Horse this month, we have Arkham Horror: The Terror at the End of Time. This is a new Cullen Bunn horror story with art by Andrea Moody. Life was all just one big game to adventuring socialite Jenny Barnes. That was until her sister was abducted by a dangerous cult. Although Jenny thwarted the cultists' sacrificial endeavors and battled the eldritch monsters at their command, the High Priestess Abigail Olmsted fled and took Izzy with her. Private investigator Joe Diamond may not understand Jenny's story, but he understands loss. Joe and Jenny must work together and follow the clues to find Izzy. But more horrors await them in Arkham, Massachusetts, and time appears to be running out. We also have Guilt Frame, a new one from Matt Kindt. A classic whodunit murder mystery that spans the globe from Paris to Hawaii to Montenegro as we hustle to keep up with the most unlikely murder-solving duo in the history of murder solvers. Now we also have Nightclub is back. Mark Millar has taken his entire universe that was at Image and he's moved it all to Dark Horse. So all the sequels are now coming from Dark Horse. We have Nightclub 2. After last year's smash hit series, your favorite vampire superheroes are back. The only problem is that they've all fallen out, and Sam is never going to forgive Danny for dating the girl he loves. Is he about to start his own rival vampire gang? We also have Patra #1. This is by James Robinson and Scott Collins. From the celebrated creators behind Starman and The Flash comes this new supernatural series about slasher monsters, mad scientists, and cult movie-inspired horror. A young girl named Patra wakes up with no memory of her past. All she knows is that a big knife and a horrific mask appear whenever she's in danger. Oh, that and a deranged killer in the tradition of 1980s slasher films. Join us for a new series as one brave little girl faces both monstrous dangers and mysterious secrets in this homage to the classic horror movies of yore. We also have Prodigy, another one from Mark Millar. Slaves of Mars. Someone murdered Edison Crane's father when he stumbled across the world's greatest secret. And now he's taking Edison's entire life apart too. What was his father's role in NASA's secret space program, and what does it mean for all mankind? Now for everybody else. Okay, next up is Boom Studios. First up, Sea Magic #1. Falling in love with a pirate? That's the last thing that Lolo expected as a teenage siren, but an apprentice swashbuckler named Jewel stole her heart. But such an unlikely romance comes with dire consequences because Lolo must lure victims as a siren, and her parents have chosen a tragic target for her. Will Lolo and Jewel find happiness somehow, or stay star-crossed at sea? We also have Hello Darkness. Horror fans rejoice in cadaverous delight because Hello Darkness is a brand new monthly anthology series featuring what Boom is known for, the best in modern horror, fantasy, and mystery, not to mention the darkest stories from an all-star cast of creators. With a spine-tingling lineup of industry legends, everything from primal fears to modern political horrors will be awakened in the classic style of creepy and eerie in the contemporary chills of Black Mirror. We also have the Graveyard Club, new one from R.L. Stein. Gravesend is as sleepy a town as they come, especially being surrounded by cemeteries, and local kids could think of nowhere else they'd rather wreak harmless havoc. But being surrounded by cemeteries comes with the pervasive reminder that there are more dead than there are living. We also have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Darkest Hour. With the Morphin grid in peril, the people of Earth are left without the Power Rangers to protect them. The ultimate battle against Dark Spectre will play out with unexpected consequences, while an unexpected group of rogues, villains, and rangers make strange company. Firefly is back with a new series that's twist on it. What if the Browncoats won the war? We also have Jim Henson Dark Crystal Archive Edition coming. Cursed Pirate Girl has a new graphic novel, and Fence returns as a new series. Dynamite has some new ones. We have a Thundercats Cheetara miniseries. Cheetara of the Thundercats is renowned as a fierce warrior, famous for her lightning-fast speed. But before her arrival on Third Earth, before the destruction of Thundera, she was a young woman wrapped in a stifling life of Thunderian nobility, a young woman with secrets. Now, for the first time, these secrets will be revealed. We also have the Powerpuff Girls coming. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These are the ingredients you need to make a perfect little girl. But one day in the lab, Professor Utonium accidentally added a little something extra to the recipe, Chemical X, and lo, the Powerpuff Girls were born. Titan has a couple new books. They have a new Blade Runner book, Tokyo Nexus, and they have a new Elric the Necromancer from the kind of world of Conan, and that one's coming. Massive has a new one called Ram God 1. This was supposed to come out a while ago, so I know I talked about this one before. Archie has a new one. Another one of their chilling adventures presents Truth or Dare. When new student Trula Twist comes to Riverdale, her mysterious and quiet nature doesn't mix well with the squeaky clean facade of Riverdale High. Tormented by her past and with a keen interest in behavioral psychology, she sets her sights on dismantling the traditional high school hierarchy from within. How? By a simple game of Truth or Dare. Valiant is back with the Dark Soul Side, featuring Master Dark and his sister Sandria. Eternal Warriors is back, the last ride of the Immortals. When the sands of time shift, the Anapada clan, led by the enigmatic Ivar, embark on a daring quest through history to mend the threads of fate. Prepare for a time-twisting adventure where heroes clash, destinies collide, and the fabric of reality hangs in the balance. Distillery has a new one, The Big Burn. A pair of thieves who sold their souls to the devil recruit a group of their fellow damned for the ultimate heist, to break into hell and steal their souls back. Mad Cave has a Gotchaman spin-off, Galactor. We also have a new one, this was their free comic book day book, Flash Gordon. Flash awakes on a prison planet somewhere in the galaxy. Upon learning that Dale Arden is the subject of an assassination plot, he's forced to break out and make his way across the galaxy to save her. Along the way, he encounters old friends, new threats, and a greater mystery surrounding who is pulling the strings of this universe. We also have one called The Last Wardens. With an alcoholic father and a hole in her wallet, Danielle Pryor's life in the rustic town of Bleakwood goes from bad to worse when her long-lost brother, Bruce, returns from the Vietnam War. While Bruce is being plagued by mysterious and monstrous mutation, he is also being hunted by an incompetent team of paranormal misfits, which leads to Bleakwood quickly becoming ground zero of a supernatural battle that forces Danielle to choose between everything she holds dear and the fate of the world as a whole. We also have Soul Taker. Amarantha is the last of her race, an ancient species that has lived among us for millennia, feeding on the life energies of humanity. Now enjoying a peaceful existence in a retirement community, she continues to consume, but just enough to survive. But Amarantha has made enemies throughout her long life, and an ancient foe thought long defeated has returned and is out for her blood, while a newer threat seeks to capture her for their own nefarious purposes. Magma has a new one, Greaser Gemini Blues. This is written by Derek Robertson, artist of tons of stuff, including The Boys. Buddy is a greaser living in Earth's future in the scorching Nevada desert, surviving by doing repairs on the spacecraft of the aliens that moved in decades ago, the Gemini. Buddy and his grandma live in a simple, hardscrabble life in a roadside diner where he builds his dream car from scavenged parts and imagines what life would be like under the biodomes of nearby Old Vegas. This quiet life is interrupted when a ruthless motorcycle gang leaves behind precious cargo in their yard. The owners want it back and will destroy anything in their way. Oni Press has a neat one. They're bringing back EC Comics, but they're not just bringing it back, they're adding to it. So they have a new title, Epitaphs from the Abyss. EC Comics lives again. From the publisher that drove Tales from the Crypt, Vault of Horror, Haunt of Fear, and many more into the depraved hearts of an unsuspecting world, the immortal EC Comics returns with its first all-new series in nearly 70 years. In our first ever extra-sized 40-page dose of fear, witness shocking tales of torment and tension in the undying EC tradition. They're also bringing Biker Mice from Mars, which was a comic or a cartoon from a while back. And they're bringing that back. Vault has one last one. Barbaric versus Deathstalker. Axe versus Sword, Owen versus Deathstalker. When an evil wizard summons the two most reluctant heroes of all time, they'll have to square off. But a clash of steel alone may decide the final victor. So that's what we got. There's a ton of stuff coming out this month. It's going to be very exciting. But we have Book Club, which is All-Star Superman. And that is on Friday, July 26th. Our focus is on Mark Waid this month. We're having the Big Barn Collection reveal on Saturday, July 6th. Going to be exciting. So keep abreast of what's going on. The website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So thanks for watching. And stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.
Nara, Japan, within hunting distance of Yashida's stronghold, ancestral home of Clan Yashida. Folks call me the Wolverine. They say I'm the best there is at what I do. This guy says different. He calls himself Cybertooth. Man considers himself the ultimate predator. To him, everyone else is just prey, especially me. In his eyes, I'm no more than a runt. I'm also the only one he's never been able to end. He's been trying since we met. Just to make the point, he slaughtered Silver Fox, the woman I loved, which has pretty much defined our relationship ever since. He either goes for me, or someone I care for. It's why, for most of my life, I preferred to walk solo. But things change. I feel for Morako Yashida, so now he comes for her. I mean to stop him. Question is, how?
Well, this is a surprise. You're supposed to be dead, Shorty. That's what I saw on a TV. You ate the X-Men, saving the world, just like always. Only this time, it got you killed. Ain't you the sneaky bunch?
One more thing. I'm a mutant, with the power to heal any wound in my body. Pretty much makes me impossible to kill. Problem is, Cybertooth has the same ability. Wasn't sure he'd come after Miko. Wasn't about to take any chances. World thinks I'm dead. Dug out the old long johns for this caper. How's that for a ghost?
Nice try, Runt. Crying shame, I got claws on my feet as well as my hands.
My hope is, now that Cybertooth knows I'm alive, he'll leave Miko alone and come after me.
That can cut through pretty near anything. Ain't near as fancy as your Anananium blades. I'll grant you that.
Just like always.